Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. I apologize, we're getting a little bit of a late start. Today is Monday, December 8th. If you're watching live on Monday, December 8th, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can catch us on cable TV, both Verizon and Cablevision, or at pctv76.org, where within a few days you can also pick up an on-demand webcast of this and past board meetings. Our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from today, Monday, December 22 at 8 p.m., with a work session at 7 here at 80 Wheeler Avenue. Had a couple of announcements to make. The first is to thank the Chamber of Commerce. They have organized a series of holiday-related events and had organized a holiday open house this past weekend in the downtown that many of our merchants participated in. There will be roving singers from the high school downtown next weekend, I think next Saturday. So thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for organizing all of that and for highlighting the many good things that go on in the downtown in Pleasantville, where you can attend to many of your holiday needs. The farm market, as many of you know, finished its outdoor run the week before Thanksgiving, had a week off, and then this past Saturday opened its winter season in the middle school. So they're off and running. The hours there, I think, begin at 9 a.m. Am I right, Jonathan?
Yep.
So a little bit later than the outdoor market, but many of your favorite vendors are available to you all year long in the middle school. So thanks to the folks at Food Chester for their ongoing good work, and thanks to the folks at the Pleasantville Union Free School District for the cooperative arrangement that has been worked out to allow the farm market to be in the middle school cafeteria on Saturdays.
I had just two quick observations. It was a rainy Saturday. It was actually a very miserable day, and yet there was something. I was downtown and having the Christmas music playing, or the holiday music playing, and the ice carving that went on later on. It made a big difference. I was kind of shocked. I was going, this is going to be kind of hokey, but it was actually a great feeling down there. And there were kids around the ice sculptures and families taking pictures. And hats off to the chamber for thinking outside the box and doing something a little different. That was awesome. And then also the music was playing in the Old Village too, which was pretty cool. The farmers market was packed, and it had a great vibe to it. Just to emphasize and a little bit of what Peter was saying, it was look out for some of these things around the village. It's the difference between a so-so feeling in the village, or a generally good feeling in the village, and a great feeling in the village. And I applaud it.
Thank you. All true. I echo those comments. Further kudos to the Chamber of Commerce for their role this past Wednesday in our annual lighting ceremony, where the Chamber of Commerce provided hot chocolate and candy canes. The folks over at Pace University, thank you, Pace, a couple of Pace representatives here, played a role as they have every year, and people went home with Pace bags and some Pace earmuffs. So a great event to have both our Chamber of Commerce and our local nearby university participating in an event that was a success for all, and as we need to do every year, thanks to the folks in DPW and the Parks Department who get that whole thing ready and make it possible to flick the switch and turn the lights on. So thank you to Linda Belafato and her crew over in Recreation, and to Jeff Akon and Mario Sensoda, the key players in the tree lighting ceremony. Last thing I had on my list to report is that, as a lot of you know, there has been discussion over the last couple of years about a proposed development of 68 townhomes that would be built on the former Baker properties. That's the two low and now empty office buildings that are on the uphill side of Washington Avenue, about halfway between here and Chappaqua. The Toll Brothers Company has been in contract and been through a zoning change process and then a site plan review process at the Planning Commission. That project is up for its final resolution this week at the Planning Commission, and we anticipate that at the conclusion of that meeting, Toll Brothers will be off and running. So I think it's a unanimous view of this board that amid the many issues that have been explored about it, it is a net substantial gain to the village, not only in terms of the new residents and the tax revenue that they will assist in contributing to our coffers, but also the fact that the Toll Brothers project will provide a shot in the arm to our recreation fund, because there's a fee in lieu of on-site recreation when there are site subdivisions. So we look forward to welcoming, first off, Toll as they develop that property, and then over a period of a few years, the residents who will buy those units and become Pleasantvilleans. So, anybody else have anything they want?
I'll just report quickly that the Scholarship Fund, Pleasantville Scholarship Fund, Community Scholarship Fund did a live auction at Best Wines down on Marble Avenue. And that was very successful. We raised several $1,000s for the Community Scholarship Fund. And I want to thank everybody who turned out for that. We had a lot of fun. I did my first auction calling since I was 18 years old, which was pretty interesting. And I think
Was it fast and
it wasn't as fast as it was when I was 18, but it wasn't bad.
It's all about browbeating people and just spending the extra 10
Nothing's as fast as it was.
Just
when you
call
were
up the audience members. Come on.
So just a shout out for that, and thanks for everybody who came out.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Mayor, I have one report too, if Trustee Lord doesn't mind. We had met with representatives of Pleasantville Union Free School District to talk about our shared services initiatives in an effort to develop our plan, efficiency plan, that we're compelled to do next year in response to the tax cap legislation. And we think we had a very good kickoff meeting. We'll have another one next Monday. But we are looking at some of our existing arrangements, expanding on those, and we've come up with some things that we think are also very creative. So we'll be able to have a report hopefully the end of the month.
Yeah.
So that's great news on that front. A couple of other issues worth mentioning to people. We met in work session before we began our regular session with the folks over on Grove Street who are concerned about parking conditions on Grove Street, and among other issues, the fact that quite a few folks are ending up with their driveways either fully or partially blocked on various occasions. So I dare say the average watcher of this meeting on cable TV is not likely involved in any of that, but certainly send out a plea for everybody to be respectful of neighbors wherever they park, and we'll be working on the issue with the neighbors about ways in which we might improve enforcement or possibly change some of the physical conditions or the regulations over there on Grove Street. Then the last thing I had on my list was, as a lot of you are also aware, there has been an ongoing discussion with the folks on our recycling committee about the idea of a plastic bag ban. That issue has now arisen at the county board level, and there's discussion about the possibility of a county board action on that subject. And we got a letter this past month from the folks over in Greenberg with an inquiry about our progress on that front, and the suggestion that the Greenberg Conservation Advisory Council has recommended to Greenberg not a ban on anything, but in fact a fee on bags. So that is a similar...
And to increase education.
Right.
That was they had like a 3-point plan.
The fee gambit, the idea of creating a financial disincentive for people to take bags of any kind, is also something that's under discussion in New York City. And so we'll obviously be monitoring all of that. And I have had a couple of discussions with a group that's a lobby agency on behalf of certain big box retailers, particularly grocers and places like CVS and the like, and they have requested the opportunity to come and speak to the board in a public session to comment on that as well. So more on that as it develops. There is no imminent action, but a lot of discussion about it now, not only in the village of Pleasantville, but at the county, and I'm not sure about the state level, but certainly in New York City. So with that, we can go to our short list of resolutions. Colleen, number 181.
Resolve the pre-check register dated December 8, 2014, covering electric check numbers 1796 through 1848 and pre-check numbers 79327 through 79434 have been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below, coming from the general fund, the special purpose fund, the water fund, the refuse fund, the pool fund, and the trust and agency fund, totaling $290,820.10.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there comments or questions on the check register?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Mindy.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, November 24th, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or corrections on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Jonathan?
Result, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments. We're going to be transferring funds to an over-budgeted account out of contingency and rec into judgment claim certs and rec admin supplies of amount to $6,000. We're also going to be increasing the capital fund reserve and expenses for the 50/50 sidewalk program and for appropriations from the general fund and fund balances from accounts sidewalk programs to sidewalks in the amount of $36,575.23. We're going to be appropriating general fund / fund balance, therefore to transfer 2 capital sidewalk reconstructions to for Sutton Place and for 50/50 repair programs on Village Lane, the amount of $31,368, and finally to increase street resurfacing project by the library as part of the library share. $27,473 is moved from miscellaneous revenue to street resurfacing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, you want to just quickly comment on these 2 larger items? The
With
sidewalks
respect to
and
the sidewalks, sure.
the sidewalks and
We've taken revenue in from 50/50 programs here.
that would be revenue from homeowners who pay half the cost of the sidewalk in front of their home.
That's correct, or some of the commercial
Right.
businesses. I'm not sure who this, I think this $5,200 was Henkel's
Okay.
contribution, because
Uh-huh.
we're increasing our budget on the other end to pay for Village Lane for the curbing that we've done in conjunction with Henkel's, and also Sutton Place for those new entrances and the new sidewalks we put in that area. And we had about $11,000 in additional expenses that we made as we went through the 50/50 program this year, just areas where we knew we had to do spot repairs. So this is covering those particular sidewalk projects. We're finished with sidewalks, obviously now for the rest of the year, and we'll be approaching the board in the spring to institute another program for the next fiscal year. The other item with respect to increasing the street resurfacing budget to account for the library's contributions, we had entered into an agreement with the library to repave their parking lot, and this is recording that reimbursement of $27,473.89.
Thank you for that. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Patty, this 31,000, this is probably just because I don't know how this is being done, but it's on here, it's a revenue number, right, the 31 coming in?
Yes.
And then it's an expense number out, and then we have it again below, the same number going into a different transfer to capital account, and it just looks like it's moving 3 times, and the other one's only moving twice.
Yeah, it's just for, this is really for the narrative for the auditors, but basically it's not. It's transferring money from, well, it's receiving money in
Right.
to different revenue codes from different sources, and it's increasing those budgets because of that. So that's what the first resolution does. The second one requires an appropriation of fund balance
Got
into that capital fund.
Okay, so for the first one, it's actually just changing budget numbers?
Yes.
And then the second one is actually moving the
Actually
money from one
moving
to
the
the,
money.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. That's the last of our resolutions on tonight's short agenda. If there are any comments from the public or questions,
As I said, it's the shortest
769-1677.
list I can remember in a long time.
So let's
Smart
not make it any
kids
longer.
in the audience are getting out early.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
I'd like
We-
to talk about it, though.
We'll be following our regular meeting with an executive session. A motion to go into an executive session regarding advice of counsel and appraisal advice.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good evening. Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Good night.